We will start dot at 9:30 because I know sir is a very busy person, so we won't keep him waiting for long. Am I audible?
Yes, Kanchan.
Okay. Yeah, no, Sufyan said that I was not audible. That is why. So, Ritama, can you hear me? Ritama Ishika?
Yes, sir.
Okay, okay.
Sir.
Okay. Sir, can you hear me? Sufyan, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Now can I hear you?
Okay,
Now I
okay.
can hear you.
Sure thing. Okay, so we can get started. It's dot 9:30, and so first of all, I mean, heartful thank to Vikram sir. Okay, to that he was instantly ready to meet us. Okay, when I proposed him this idea right in the first place. So first of all, I would like to introduce Vikram sir. So I have already introduced to most of you. Okay, but once again, so Vikram sir, first of all, he is an alumni of IIT Kharagpur and IIM Calcutta. Yes, you thought it correct. I mean, he is the person who has cleared both JEE and CAT. Okay, and with excellent marks, because of which he could get into this premier institute. Okay, and after clearing, I mean, after becoming an IIT engineer and IIM Calcutta grad, he took up UPSC and he got an All India rank of 357. Okay, he worked as a joint commissioner of income tax department for 12 years, and then he joined various private organizations where he I mean uh, led the responsibilities of as managing directors, VPs, and then he became the I mean, he has also led as the chairman of IMS CAT. So those who are CAT aspirants, they know about IMS. It is one of the best institutes in India. And after that, he joined Narsi Monji, where he was an assistant professor for many years, and now he is the CFO. He is a CFO of a private organization. So, and there are many other things. I mean, Vikram sir is also the chairman of Indian Business Family, uh, as a part of which he plays the role of advisor to various, I mean, to various organizations. So these are some of the roles and responsibilities that Vikram sir has played till date, and the list is actually longer. So if I tell all of them, 15 minutes will actually spend in just this thing. Now the question is that how did I come to know a person like Vikram sir? Okay, Vikram sir reached out to me for learning cloud and DevOps, and we had a 13-day session during which I learned more than what I taught. Okay, and I came to know more and more about Vikram sir, and I actually became his disciple. I considered him as my mentor. Okay, and I also wanted him to come up and I mean, to bless you as well, to help you and help you get your questions answered, because it is very rare to get a person of his caliber among us. It's really very rare. Now the main agenda of today's call is when we are in school, when we are in college, we get to hear many things, we read many things, we see in like social media many things by which we develop some misconceptions, right? We might think of we might think like an IIT engineer's life might be like this. Okay, so this is the conception that you are developing in your mind, but it might be completely different from what the reality is. So only a person like Vikram sir can actually help us demystify those misconceptions and have a clear vision. So with Vikram sir's guidance, we can have a very clear vision in our life. Okay, and we might avoid taking some incorrect decisions, incorrect steps. You might say go for something which you are thinking as something else, but in reality it is completely different. So I think nobody else other than Vikram sir can help us clarify those things. Okay, so I mean, that's all I want to tell about Vikram sir. And to be honest, I mean, I take suggestions from Vikram sir for teaching, for teaching CAT students. I sometimes ask him that if I want to say teach these, then what should be the correct direction. He has given me I mean, lot of advices. I mean, whatever I have asked, he has actually given me more answers than what I needed. Okay, so I'm very much thankful and grateful to him, and I thought that it would be the best opportunity to meet a person like him and get our questions answered. So that's all I want to tell. So I would now request Vikram sir to address something to us, and then we can go to the question and answer. You can get your questions answered. Okay. Yeah. Please, sir.
Thanks, Kanchan. So Kanchan and me, Kanchan began as my teacher. He taught me very well. He introduced me to DevOps in a very technical way. And over time, we grew, became personal friends and began to appreciate other qualities just more than the technical qualities. As human beings, the arts, culture, he plays the sitar, his wife plays the sitar. And we discussed a lot of things overall. So I guess you can. That's the kind of relationship I would like to develop with you also, not just technical, but as humans. As you grow, I can relate to you because there was a time when I was young and confused, and now I'm a little older, but still as confused. But so there'll never be a time when you'll be clear, and nobody can actually make you clear. There are no mistakes. Jump in at any stage, evaluate and take a decision. If you feel you need to change course, and don't have any regrets. Uh, uh, Now, you must learn from the experiences of others, and you must put in your own effort, and most importantly, think for yourselves. That's the major part of education, and that is something you'll get to know not only as you read, but as you experience, right? And that's where what other people who have been through life and through a lot of experiences can tell you how they went about it. It doesn't mean that it's something that you will face, but you will get to understand that they have had similar problems as you have had. And uh, it's not that they've surmounted them, and they're nothing very big. And if you persist, if you don't give up, which is very important, you will succeed. So, as my wife puts it, the most important thing in success is persistence, the attitude of not being able to be cut down by failure. Uh, that done, I'll just introduce a little bit about myself. So, I studied in a boarding school because my father was posted as a civil engineer in the railways in certain villages for 12 years, for about 6 years. Then I went to IIT Kharagpur. I gave CAT in IIT Kharagpur, and I got an interview call from IIM Calcutta, but I did not qualify for the interview. Then I joined the Steel Authority of India and as a management trainee in administration, and I saw the power that uh, IAS people enjoyed and civil services people enjoyed. I was also quite an explorer, and I was interested in the liberal arts. I took philosophy. I used to read. While I was in IIT, I used to read Russell's History of Philosophy. I used to read Vivekananda. I used to read all sorts of. I also got into understanding society and questioning things, and it shaped my perspective. And civil services gave me a chance to officially study the subjects that I was actually interested in. I qualified. I got an All India rank of 357, but I joined, but I soon realized that I was not very happy there because it was all very rule bound. You had to follow rules and instructions. There was no freedom to do anything that you wanted, or no freedom to explore, no freedom to experiment. And I'm not saying it's a bad job; it's a very good job, provided you like implementing or administering rules and are good at going by rules, are good at finding mistakes and not only mistakes, but also things where people are complying with rules or they are not complying with rules. Uh, but I didn't think that that was something I wanted to do for the rest of my life, scrutinizing accounts and uh, 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 implementing rules and instructions. So I figured out that engineering in itself did not give me an much of a scope into the private sector. The private sector was booming, and it still is. So I gave CAT. I qualified into IIM Calcutta and Lucknow, and I chose IIM Calcutta. It was a very good experience. There was no attendance. There was no strictness. You could attend classes, bunk classes, but the exams were difficult. Uh, the professors were very nice, and it was all in your hands. You could utilize your time well, and if you chose to utilize it differently, which was respected, but you had to pass the exams. And the syllabus was structured very well. I came across a number of subjects. I never earlier I had the impression management was just about either marketing or human resources, soft skills, about managing people. But it's here that I came to know what are the kinds of resources, what are the kinds of organizations, how you can manage different resources, different organizations, how do they actually function, what is the environment in which they function, what are the latest best practices, how to actually inculcate them into your organization, how to inculcate how technology works in organizations, and very importantly, how systems work in your organization, where the data is, and how you can put all these together to come up with an optimal functioning organization with rules and processes, as well as a certain amount of liberty and flexibility to respond to the environment and changes and do so successfully. I did not get any lateral placements, they were fresh placements. So I had a bond with the income tax department. So I went back, and then I got a job with Reliance. It was 10 times my salary in the department, and it was in taxation, but it was really on the other side of taxation, where we had to get projects done, and to get projects done we had to plan them. Every transaction, every uh, 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 compliance or report had to be had or the accounts, whatever goes into the accounts, whatever tax reductions we claim, all that had to be done beforehand and planned in such a way that legally we get the minimum tax liability. And the project had to go on as quickly as possible with minimum delays and minimum tax costs, or best tax costs, and minimum risks of litigation. So we were doing something, constructing something, putting something into practice, and hopefully making successful. There was a fair amount of freedom. A lot of time, I mean, nothing was given. You had to actually explore, discuss, and then implement it. It was all upon you, and if you did well, you were respected. You became an important part purely because of your skills and knowledge, and your behavior and respect towards your colleagues and how you handle them. And you were treated as a very respected member of the team and a knowledgeable member of the team. Uh, so that's how it went along. Then from there, Reliance, there was a recession, and Reliance Communication, which I was in, went into heavy debt. So there was a lot of layoffs, and I lost my job. I was jobless for a while, which is something that happens in the private sector, and you don't have to get deterred by it. A lot of people go through. And then I joined teaching. I was teaching finance, and I learned a lot. I think a combination of academics and industry is a very good combination, because you get to know perspectives that are limited, that are not limited, and are holistic from the point of view of the entire business, the environment, and uh, they are multidisciplinary, and you come to know the latest things. From there, I moved to Dr. Reddy's labs, where I was associate director, and I was working in the back office, which actually processed payments. So it's a very systems-driven job where uh, everything uh, is as per SAP that time, your ERP, which is there, and right from the order that is placed on the customers to cash, from purchase to pay, and various different functions, invoicing, salary. All payments and receipts were handled by a single center. There had to be minimal delays. There had to be escalations in case of a delay. All these needed to be actually built in and designed into the system. People I found were efficient. They worked as far as possible to the best of their abilities. The problems largely were systems problem that prevented the efficient functioning of the entire system as a whole. Uh, and that's where we came in to actually rectify and get feedback, as well as see how we can improve systems to make minimum delays and make it function with minimum turnover times of payments as well as receipts. After that, I've worked in IM. I came back to Reliance once again in Reliance Power. Then I worked in IMS. I worked in a software company. Then I went to Sri Lanka. I worked for a nation development bank project with a Canadian company for the government of Sri Lanka. Then I went to Tanzania. I was executive director of finance. After that, I returned to India. I joined teaching. Those 5 years, I learned a lot. Teaching is for me as much a learning, probably the best learning process that you can always and anytime have, because you got to prepare so much and first understand it and anticipate the kind of questions that your students have. So it's a very difficult job. I find it far more difficult than a corporate sector, and it prepares you for one. I taught mainly artificial intelligence and technology. Right now, I'm the chief financial officer of a private sector company. We're going for an IPO, and my job is to actually lead the company towards the IPO that is targeted sometime towards the end of this year. So that's it from my side. If you could briefly introduce yourselves uh, as aspirants as well as people, I would have a sort of an idea about who I'm talking. And now that you have an idea of who you are talking to, it would be good to relate as human beings as a whole and not just isolated questions. Um, they have to be placed in context, and therefore, please do introduce yourself and feel free to ask whatever you feel like asking. I may not give perfect answers, and I may not know some of the answers, but I will go back and tell you wherever I find it trouble. So please go ahead and introduce yourselves.
Thank you so much, sir. So we can start from the top of the tie, which is in my screen. So I wanted Azam sir to speak first. So Vikram sir, just to introduce Azam sir, has been all of our teachers. I mean, here in this style, we can see Sufyan, Ritama, Shritama, and me. So Azam sir has been our computer teacher. I have learned from Azam sir when I was in class 11, and the others are also his students, and they are now my students as well. Okay, so I wanted,
Wonderful.
so
All,
I
all my respect to you, Azam sir. You created wonderful students. You got
Good
them,
evening, sir.
and one of them has been my teacher also, and he's taught me wonderfully. A lot of credit for that.
Very proud that Kanchan is doing so well,
That's
and I
wonderful.
am uh, really elated to talk to you. Myself, actually, I am also in a West Bengal state government job, but I am
Wonderful.
teaching from last 25 years. I am teaching programming to students.
Wonderful, sir.
So thing is that my son is also there in the meeting, and some of my students are also there.
okay, okay.
Wonderful, sir.
So
That's very good.
sir,
It's a
I had
complex
some
subject.
I had some queries, sir, since I'm dealing with students from many years.
Yes, sir.
Mostly 9, 10, 11, 12 students I do teach. So sometimes students come to us
Yes,
for
sir.
guidance, sir,
Yes, sir.
what to do.
Yes, sir.
The brighter ones are very much clear, or we
Yes.
blindly or simply, you are so good, you take science, or
Yes.
whatever stream you will take, you will excel because you study hard,
That's correct.
you are good in studies and all those things.
Yes,
But
sir.
sometimes our average student is very much confused.
Yes, sir.
So any directions or any guidance, so we can guide a little bit to them, initial guiding,
Yes, sir.
because sometimes students look upon to us.
Yes, sir. So, sir, I think all subjects are important, and if you make a wrong choice in the beginning, you can always change, and the knowledge that you've gained will not be wasted. So, while it is important to make a good choice right at the beginning, there's nothing wrong in making a mistake. It is not to be taken too seriously. We often get too serious about it, and my daughter, she chose science and biology. She wanted to be a doctor, and she was very tense. And then she changed to arts. After that, she decided she didn't like biology. She went into Sophia's college. She did psychology. Then after that, for 2 years, she looked after her grandfather and her dog, and then she didn't know what to do. So I told her to do an MBA. She studied hard and she did an MBA, and now she's earning 13 lakhs a year in Piramal Pharma. And she was a silver medalist of Goa Institute of Management. Things change. You have to go along and not take it too seriously. Make the best decision based on the best available knowledge you have, based upon your liking. But you're too young to make the correct decision, and it is not a life and death decision. Given the circumstances, given the information, make the best decision, and don't worry if you make a wrong one. Don't hesitate to change it, but don't be too hasty. Wait a while, study the subject, study if you like it or not, and then make a change.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Sufyan, you can go ahead.
Good evening, sir. Am I audible?
Sufyan, good evening. Yes, you are.
Yes, sir. So I am currently my dream is to pursue computer science engineering from an old IIT. So I wanted to ask that if I do computer science engineering from an IIT, and if I want to do MBA after that, so which specialization will be better for me for that?
Nowadays, when you apply computer science, you apply to a domain. While a lot of computer science previously was theoretical in nature in terms of data structures and algorithms and some sort of programming, much of computer science in the modern context is applied. And it is applied to enterprises. And you have to know how enterprises function. So a combination of computer science and an MBA is an excellent combination. And because it will help you develop solutions, and it is good from the perspective of the salary also, because you will be able to understand the domain problems also. You'll be able to devise solutions also, and you'll be able to. When I was in Sri Lanka working on a project, the problem was the client did not understand what could be done with the computer. They expected the moon. The programmers or the systems people did not know what the client wanted, and you had to intermediate between them. Now, if you know what the system functions, you know what the limitations and the capabilities of a computer system are. You are in a position to come up with solutions, applications, as well as troubleshooting in the best possible manner. So you can architect solutions, and you can also handle them and augment systems, and then you will be able to do very well. I think that's the way.
Thank you, sir. And sir, one more doubt I had that earlier you mentioned about the IM thing, which had it was free on attendance and stuff. So is that the same case in IIT?
Yes, IIT, a lot of IITs now, that time it was not relative grading, it was absolute grading. You got the marks you wanted, but nowadays it's relative grading. But your grading would, if you get into computer science, you will be selected on basis of your grade as well as on the basis of your grading. Now, it's good to attend classes. It's also good to read your own and think for yourself and explore areas that are not in the syllabus. Do projects that are not there. And so you need a combination of both. Do your best. The professors teach very well. They have a wealth of knowledge. But exploration is also important, and being able to occasionally divert and think on areas, discuss them with your professors, develop a good relationship with your professors that is theoretical and exam based also, and is also project based and some interests that you're taking up. Uh, so develop a good relationship with your professors, and they will guide you.
Thank you, sir.
Yeah, Ishika, you can go ahead.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Ishika.
So, sir, my question was that work experience, is it required for MBA, or it's for MBA admissions, or is it necessary or not?
So I have been on the both interview panels of NMIMS, and there was some weightage given for work experience in the interview section. But if your scores are high in the qualifying exam and you do well in the interview, you're not penalized for not having. It helps to have work experience while you're doing your MBA because you know how an organization functions. You got some idea of a field, but of the domain, but it is not necessary. So give it your best shot. If you get in, go for it. If you don't get in, join a job. Don't drop years. Join a job and give it a try.
So, like working as a part-time office or part-time NGOs for some time, like managing both the classes also and my work also. So, will it
Perfect.
be helpful?
Yes, it will because uh, uh, it'll be helpful in the sense that you may not get much, you may get less time for your preparation, but during your MBA, you'll be able to relate the concepts that you've learned to what you work in. And it will also help you during the interview because it will have carry weightage. So I think you should basically do part-time or NPO or whatever work you do, as well as prepare. The thing is, once you prepare, the second time you have to keep taking mock exams. So the first time you do a lot of fundamental preparation. The second time you take mock tests, keep tweaking your strategy, getting down your tension, taking mock tests, and uh, seeing how you improve your scores. So you'll have time to do your work, and otherwise you may tend to go to a depression, which is something that happens very often when people take years off. So and are worried if the scores are not doing well. So if you have something on the part time, it keeps you happy also, and you focus on your work.
And so, which specialization should I choose as a commerce student?
So finance would be the best specialization for you.
Sir, do marks matter? Academic results of class 10 and 12?
Uh, yes, they do to some extent, but you will not be asked to choose a specialization in the first year. You'll be doing it only in the second year, and so and it will depend on your choice.
So,
So sorry, yes.
so will they check my marks in that? That in accounts or finance, how much did I score?
No, no, nobody'll check that. There are no restrictions. It's your choice, entirely your choice, because it's you who have to compete with the others.
Okay, sir. Thank
There's
you.
no ranking based allowed.
Okay, sir. Thank you.
Also.
So Ishika, I think you got pinpointed answers to your questions, right? I mean, I don't think that even internet or any YouTube videos can help us in this way as Vikram sir is doing.
No, sir. I've checked almost
Hmm.
like from the beginning only. When thought that I'll do MBA,
Yeah.
sir, I've seen many multiple videos about this, that
Hmm.
which specializations which I should choose.
Hmm.
Then sir, me मतलब कि
Yeah.
इतना सारा अलग अलग इतना सारा स्पेशलाइजेशन था कि फाइनेंस के लिए तुम लोग को
Hmm.
10 का और 12 का मार्क्स देखना
Yeah.
पड़ेगा, बहुत सारा, बहुत कुछ
Exactly.
अलग अलग. हाँ,
You see, this
And
is
I
the reason why I said that you might have misconceptions. Okay. And that is the reason why
yes, sir.
we set up this call with Sir so that he can clarify these misconceptions. Okay. Otherwise, you would have put more effort into something which is not needed for the goal that you want to achieve. Okay. So, Sir is actually
Yes.
helping us to avoid those sort of distractions and focus on only what is needed. So, thank you really for that, Sir. Next, Shritama, you can go ahead.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Thank you.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening.
I'm I'm Shritama Ghosh. I'm currently pursuing BCA from IEM Kolkata.
Very
Uh,
good.
so I have so I have a question. I mean, I am also preparing for CAT 2024.
Yes.
Uh, I have a question. How to select college?
So IIMs are always the best. Uh, and then you have the second tier colleges like you have Nursing Monji, you have Go Institute of Management, you have Symbiosis. So they tie up with the second tier IIMs. After that, the third tier also goes, and now, right now, many companies, especially the IT companies, are going to second and third tier colleges because they're getting graduates. You will not get foreign companies coming there, but you will get a lot of companies coming there because the salaries are, they have to pay are relatively lower and they get good people. Uh, so don't, as far as the preferences are concerned, go by the NIRF rankings or the the rankings, India Today rankings and all. You can take the rankings. Preferably choose something near to where you stay, uh, so that you can go home. Your parents can come over also. So, but don't worry about hostel life. Don't worry about the colleges. Uh, and give the choices. And uh, if you get a decent college, join it. Don't wait to give another attempt, or even if you do give another attempt, do it while pursuing, by after having joined it. But on the whole, I would suggest that if you get a decent college, join it and don't give again another attempt to get a top ranking.
So I have one more question.
Yes.
So, like tomorrow, that registrations will be opened. So
Yes.
I'm preparing for CAT. Is it suggested by everyone that I prepare for that also,
Yes.
CMAT and
Yes. That is uh, that and both XLRI and Bhubaneswar, as well as the Goa Institute, which is a part of that, are all top ranking colleges. And you should give that. It's just that it has an essay paper. Otherwise, the aptitude tests are same. I think you should do
so I have one more question.
this.
So as I'm pursuing BC and I'm in my third year, I'm
Yes.
also like from August, our placement will also be started.
Yes.
So like from like August, I have to also focus on placement as well as for CAT. So
Yes.
how to manage this? Like I have two options kind of. Like I have to focus on placement. If placement goes well, then I will go for job, and then if goes well, then I will go for CAT. So like, is it okay to have two options, or I have to be focused on one?
So I would suggest you focus on placements first. The first attempt at CAT, you just give it as a trial attempt, get a job. You've given a trial attempt, you've got a feel of the exam and how you perform. Then, after you've got a job, along with the job, you do focus preparation. And once you've got 1 year experience of you you can do a good MBA and work in any domain that you want.
Thank you, sir.
So do a reasonable CAT. I'm not saying don't give CAT, but focus.
Okay, sir.
Yeah, Niladri, you can go ahead.
Good evening, sir. So, first, first of all, I want to thank Kanchan sir for arranging such an informative session, which such a elite personality like you, sir. So, like a career instructor, and I've heard from you regarding from before also from Kanchan sir, and I have one of my seniors who is right now, like he also said about me regarding your instructions, what you gave career advices. So, it's a like good opportunity to interact with you like this. So, sir, I want to like say that regarding myself that I have already have around 4 years of experience in job experience. I initially started my career in pharmaceutical industry in quality control. So I worked there for around 2.5 years, and then I for last more than a year I have shifted myself to R&D. So right now I'm working in R&D there. So at the same time I'm also preparing for MBA because I want to switch my career. So there is a doubt which I want to ask sir, that how late am I like for this decision?
No,
So,
MBA, you're never too late. Uh, and pharma is a very good specialized area. And so, uh, whether it's research or it's in the business commercialization of business function of pharma, uh, uh, so whether it's the technical manufacturing part, the research part, the production processes, or the business functions, it is a good idea to have a knowledge of all. So while you know the research part and you know the production also, I believe since you would know the production part also,
yes,
uh,
sir.
it would be good to take a break and also look at the business functions. And if you specialize in this area, stick to this area and you will go high uh, because you will be good in research also and you will be good in management. So you will go high up in the management because of your knowledge of both functions and your technical as well as your management.
So one more question which I want to ask you is that which I don't know whether I'm right or whether I'm not. So just rectify me that in that way. So I have gone through few brochures of these IIMs where people like for having a job experience of 2 years, they're getting a good score, and then the score decreases once you have more than 2 years of experience. So in that my case, in how will it matter? Like how much will it?
So what you have to do is you have to focus on practice tests. First, you take a practice test, mock test, see yourself. See your set a target score. See how much deviation is there in each particular area from a target score. So what you need to focus on getting minimum cutoffs and maximizing your strength areas. Then you prepare according for each section according to what the deviation is there between your target and your strength area. Then give another test. So every week take a test, see the improvement and focus. So yeah, it's like guided learning. I mean, it's like learning, but with testing at every stage. So you keep doing course correction at every
Mm,
stage. And yes, right. If you just learn and then you wait till the exam to give the thing, you may miss out on a lot. So put an exam actually.
right, sir. And I was one like I just want to say that I was thinking to build for if specialization thing. So for pharmaceutical management, I was thinking, and then I had two like I was planning of two things, either pharmaceutical management or sales and marketing. Because so if I go for pharmaceutical management, then I think like will I get some preferences because of my experience?
In pharmaceutical
Like which will
management,
be a
you mean
better option?
based courses in pharmaceutical management? Uh, yeah, that would be. You mean institutes that offer pharmaceutical management?
No, I wanted to say you that like which will be a good option for me, like going for pharmaceutical management or like going freshly into sales and marketing. And if I go into sales and marketing, like will it be a tough one for me because I don't have commerce background or anything like that?
What happens is not all institutes will offer a specialization like pharmaceutical management, but it is a better idea than just going for sales and marketing. So find out institutes that offer pharmaceutical management as a specialization and apply to them. I think that would be a better idea than uh, go- applying to all institutes. Uh, Focus on institutes that actually give pharmaceutical or offer a degree in pharmaceutical.
So is it good for for upcoming career than sales and marketing?
Uh, See, sales and marketing is now getting very specialized. Previously, you had FMC that used to be the highest paid, but now you have dynamic pricing, you have uh, personalized marketing, you have advertising, and then these vary from product to product. Now, if you have, you could either choose to be a generalist and go for an FMCG posting, or you could decide that pharma is a domain I want to focus on, and then stay in pharma. In the long run, if you stick to pharma, you may face a little problem in the short run, but in the long run, it will put you in good stead. And it'll keep your job secure because uh, there will always be a demand for specialists. And nowadays,
Right.
yeah, there's a turn towards specialists, people who have experience in a particular domain. So I would recommend stick to pharma, go to institutes that are offering pharmaceutical management, and do an MBA in pharmacy.
Thank you so much, sir, for guiding me.
Awesome.
Yeah, Ritama, you can ask your questions. You can go ahead.
Good evening, sir. My name is Rithama.
Someone?
I am pursuing BCom accountancy honors,
Yes.
and I have a question that actually I have just started preparing for CAT since this month. So I
Yes.
am a little skeptical whether I will be able to crack it within this short period or not. At the same time, actually, I had a few career options like. I actually really wanted to pursue CA, but since cracking it is a really tough job as well as it takes a lot of time to crack it, so I actually let it be. I said maybe I'll try it other time, some other time.
Mhm.
Other than that, I had other options like being a teacher, and then I had hotel management and this cat. So, how can I understand which is the best path for me?
So what are you as a person? What do you like? Do you like accounts? Do you like finance? Or are you more a people's person? You want to manage the hotel in the sense that make it good and you want to, customer uh, handle the client and then. So do you want a technical job or do you want a people facing job? Or what are you happy with?
Actually, I'm really into mathematics and logical thinking type of questions and everything. And that is the reason, since accounts also involves maths, so I am really into accounts as well. That is the main reason I really wanted to pursue charter accountant. But then I let that idea away. And other than that, as for hotel management and stuff, I do really like to try I try new experimenting with food and everything. I bake cakes, I sell it as well. I do many things regarding that. So my father gave me the option if I wanted to do hotel management as well. And as for teaching, I actually teach some kids at my home. So I also have that, and my father himself is an accountant teacher. So that's a thing which is there. So all these options were there as well because of that.
So, are you happier going through, consolidating the accounts of a company or preparing the account statements? Or are you happier baking cakes and seeing that you set up a shop where or your own shop where you sell cakes and get a good business and the customers are happy. Look at your heart and tell what you are happy with.
I do actually find happiness in both of them, maybe a little more in something, and I do like it when my sums are all right, and as well as when my customers are satisfied and they're really happy with their cakes and everything. So yeah, both of them brings me happiness.
Okay. So, see, there are two things that you can do as far as work is concerned. One is a job. If you go into finance, you'll be working for somebody else. You'll be doing a job for a company. Uh, Jobs, you have to depend upon somebody else. You may get a job, you may not get a job, you may get a good boss, you may not get a good boss. In hotel management or baking or cooking, you can work in a hotel for some time. It's a skill that you're learning. And then you can set up as an entrepreneur your own setup with your family um, and see it grow. You can also teach kids part time. So you have to make a choice. At the end, do you want a job working for somebody else, or do you want to be an entrepreneur and set up your own outlet, uh, specialized outlet, after working in a specific hotel? That's something you'll have to look inside. Take a little time. Get back to me after a week or so. Uh, See whether you want to work for yourself or you want a 9 to 5 job working for somebody else. And as far as accounting is concerned, you can teach accounting to kids. You can always do it when you do it also as a part time to earn money. And you can also set up your own establishment with your family. You won't have to move anywhere outside. You won't have transfers. You won't have sessions. Food is always in demand. You can the sky's the limit to which you can expand if you want to grow it into a chain, a confectionery chain. So I think one should not be dependent upon a job. The future is really up for entrepreneurs, and if you can, with less capital, set up your own entrepreneurial area in which you are not dependent on a company or a boss to actually choose you and like you and uh, uh, I mean, give you a good recommendation, a good report, uh, uh, and the politics of the organization. It's something, so just think it over, discuss it with your father. And it's really a toss up between whether you want to work for yourself or you want to work for others.
But if I want to be an entrepreneur, if I want to be an entrepreneur, then
Yeah.
I need some money business as well, right?
No,
I cannot just run the business without having any idea because there is a lot of risk in every kind of business.
yeah, you will be doing hotel
So,
management.
hmm.
And
So we will get that idea of business in hotel management itself.
that's correct. So you will work in hotel management. You will take up hotel management. You will work for 2 3 years, and then you will set up your.
Okay, sir. Okay, sir.
You will
Thank
save
you, sir.
something.
Thank you, sir.
But ultimate decision is you have to look at your heart. You have to talk to your father, your mother, your sister, brothers, and
Okay, thank you, sir.
okay. All the best.
Yeah. So Shubhratim, do you have any question?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So actually, right now I'm preparing for civil services for the CPCS, WBCS. So in this, all throughout the preparation journey, what I'm finding is like there's a huge syllabus to be covered, and like unlike UPSC, where only you need to focus on the GK portion a lot, but with WBC, the thing is that you need to focus on the analytical portion too, as much as the GK portion is. the
Okay.
math portion. And with the recent trends, the question paper that is coming, they are more focusing on the type of questions that comes in SSC or in railway exams, where they give a much of an importance to the analytical portions, whether it is math or reasoning. So
Okay.
covering up these two aspects at the same point of time is a little problem, like I'm finding with it. So just want to
So
know like
are
how
there any,
to tackle this.
yeah, what subjects are you taking?
The general subjects are there, and my optional subject is management.
In- And are there any professional top ranking institutes that you're taking coaching from?
No, sir. Actually, I'm taking from teachers who are subject oriented.
Sorry, once again.
The teachers, I'm taking classes from the teachers who are subject oriented.
Okay, but I would recommend that besides classes from teachers, I would recommend you join a professional institute because there are certain kinds of answers, certain kinds of questions which are repeated. For example, in civil service, if you take the last 10 years papers and you cover them, you will find that in some way or the other, you covered a very substantial portion of what is going to come next. Now, what sort of answers get marks? All that analysis is something. So, if you what when I give civil service, what mistake I did was that I again like you focused on subjects. I went beyond the syllabus also, and but what the others who did got better ranks than me focused on was last 10, 15 years papers and how to answer them, uh, and with less effort they got better ranks. So, uh, what I would suggest is one, take the last 15 years papers, um, first evaluate themselves on it, yourself on it, and then join a professional training institute if you're serious about WBPSC and give the exam.
So the thing is that like if we cover the last 10-15 year papers,
Yes.
questions are getting repeated as the questions that are getting repeated is very less.
Okay,
So
but you'll get an idea of the pattern. For example,
the
if you
question or the area that is they are focusing on.
okay, uh, in the optionals or in the
No, no, in the MCQ papers, like we have like our mains or the prelims exam both in the MCQ pattern. So like
okay,
even after having a particular knowledge about a topic, a
yes,
simple question or a very minute question that
okay,
might come up from there, like I may not be able to answer because
yes.
maybe I not be knowing that a particular fact about a certain area or a certain portion of a topic.
That's where the professional coaching institutes will come. You're talking about prelims or mains? You
Both, both,
both.
both are
Now,
on the MCQ pattern.
actually, mains is also on the MCQ pattern.
Yes, sir.
So I would recommend personally that uh, it is worthwhile taking a top ranking or the top ranking institute uh, in West Bengal for WPSC, registering there and following the syllabus. Most people who qualify, at least in your PSC, have taken some top ranking coaching or the other, and it makes your task much easier. Otherwise, you'll deviate, get into a lot of things, and spend your time um, not in a very in the manner that it gives you marks, better marks. You will gain knowledge if you do it on your own, without doubt, but you may not score the kind of marks that they want.
And
So,
so, like, how to manage time with the both the aspects of like the analytical portion and the GK portion, where they are giving the same kind of weightage to both the things.
uh, by analytical, it's MCQ, you say?
No, the I'm talking about the math portion, the maths and the reasoning
Okay,
subject,
math and
as
reasoning.
well as the other subjects.
Okay, so you don't have your optional in your prelim?
No, 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 sir. It's
Okay.
only the main.
Okay. Okay. So I don't really have much idea about the prelims right now, but I still would recommend that a professional institute, uh, because they've been following this for years, is something that will be is absolutely necessary if you want to do well in the current scenario. A professional coaching is absolutely necessary.
Thank you, sir.
Okay, Supratim.
Yeah, thank you so much, sir. I think we have covered everybody's questions. And if anybody has any more questions, then they can come up. So, if not, then I would like to, state some of the takeaways that I learned from this call. So, first of all, is that a person like Vikram sir has also lost jobs in his life, right? But and so I mean we are nothing. I mean then we can also lose jobs. Like I, Niladri, Shupati, we are working professionals, okay, and we are actually going through a phase where companies are laying off, okay, because there are some companies who are not doing good. This instability is still there after COVID, and still there are companies who are struggling to attain that stability, and layoffs have become very common in our company. Also there has been a lot of layoffs. So what we learned from Vikram sir is that this layoff is nothing new. This has already been there, back in Vikram sir's time. And what we should think about is that even though we lose our job, we should not be afraid of. We should keep on trying. We should, and continuous learning, that is another thing. Continuous learning, continuous experimenting, that is what is going to keep us relevant in the market. Okay, if we just lose our job and if we just sit depressed, I don't think that is going to help us. And don't be afraid to experiment. So we shouldn't be afraid to experiment. We must learn from our experiences. Let us take the decision based on whatever situations we are in. Okay, once we take a decision, if that gets correct, that then of course that is going to help us. If not, then definitely we can become guide to someone else. Okay, so yes, sir. So I am really very much grateful to you, sir, for taking out your time and helping us clarify all our doubts. We have a very clearer vision ahead. Okay, and Niladri, Ishika, Supratim, Shrita, Maritama, they are all my students. Okay, they have got a very clear vision and they can move forward with your guidance. And we will seek your guidance again in future. And I know you are a very welcoming person. You would definitely you are available to help us. Okay, so with this note, we can uh, end. We can conclude today's call. And yes, uh,
Thank you so much, Kanchan. It was a pleasure. And anytime you feel you need to be online, please contact Kanchan, and I would be ready to uh, guide you as best as I can.
sure, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you everyone for your time. Thank you for joining. Have a great night.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Good night, all.
Good night.
Good night, sir.